Well, we've been building up for this moment all night, Colin.
Thank goodness.
The town manager's report.
You got it, Mr. Chair. Earlier today, we were notified that there would be a special election to fill the state Senate seat vacated with the passing of Senator Ed Kennedy on March 3rd, 2026. A primary will take place on February 3rd. Obviously, we didn't incorporate these dates into the school calendar, so our town clerk, Jessica Brunel, and I will work with the school department to make sure that we're able to manage to fit these elections in, and we'll have more information about the deadline to pull papers and all of that on the website at some point this week. As this board is aware, I'm happy to share that we've created a tracking sheet for the Select Board's fiscal year 26 goals. Residents can find a link to the tracker by visiting the Select Board's page or the Town Manager's page on tyngsboroughma.gov. It comes directly from the board's adopted goals and is broken into quarters so that the board and the community can see when we expect to focus on each individual goal. Last week, we were notified by the Executive Office of Veteran Affairs that they had approved our request to create a regional veterans district with the town of Dracut. Over the summer, the Select Board authorized the submission of a district application. As I shared at that time, we've been providing VSO services for Dracut for several months now and 3 or 4 times before that. The next steps will be for us to finalize an intermunicipal agreement with Dracut, which will outline the specifics and come to this board for approval first. At a high level, though, Tyngsborough will serve as the lead community. We'll operate largely out of Town Hall here in Tyngsborough with minimal office hours in Dracut. We'll split the cost of all of the salaries as well as the supplies. There's very few supplies that you need. For Tyngsborough, this will be a budget-neutral change, but will provide added support for our operations here, as well as continuity for both communities. Our VSO, Chris Derry, has been leading the work to make this happen, so I appreciate his effort. On a similar front, I had previously shared that the town of Dunstable had reached out to us about potentially providing ambulance coverage for them. Chief Russell and I have met with their town administrator and their fire chief to review their call data and talk about what might work and what might not. They do an average of 3 transports per week, which is certainly far less than what we're doing here in Tyngsborough. However, from the outset, Chief Russell, was clear that in order to make it work without impacting response times in Tyngsborough, we would need to have a 5th firefighter on each shift. Currently, our budget provides a 5th firefighter just during the day. As a part of these discussions, Dunstable has agreed that should we enter into some sort of an agreement, they would bear the full cost of that 5th firefighter, and so they have a town meeting scheduled in November where they'll ask for the funding. Their Select Board and Finance Committee is expected to meet this week to talk about how serious they are on it. In the meantime, Chief Russell and I will be meeting with the Firefighters Union and the Dispatch Union to impact bargain to discuss more in detail. I've had very informal conversations with the Firefighters Union, and I know that they feel comfortable that they can provide this service. In any case, before we advance to negotiating an IMA, we'll invite Chief Russell in to talk to the board to answer any questions and make sure that we're all on the same page. I wanted to take a minute to acknowledge the great work that's being done in our town clerk's office by Town Clerk Jessica Brunel and Assistant Town Clerk Carol Saulnier. Late last week, I was sent a screenshot of a post online. I always cringe because generally they're complaints, but it was complimenting the experience that a resident had with the clerk's office. I know that all of you know this, but since Jessica's election last year, her and Carol have been working incredibly hard to implement efficiencies in the office. They've increased resident involvement in the elections process, and they're working to, very importantly, clean up a lot of old, mismatched cemetery records, working closely with our Department of Public Works. People in this building, residents that I talk to in the building, have great things to say about their experience in the clerk's office, and I don't often get to share the very positive things, so I just wanted to give them a shout out because I think we're seeing the hard work that they're putting into streamlining things down there, and it's certainly having a positive impact for not just us, but also for residents. From a grant perspective, I'm happy to share that as we start Q2, town staff have already been awarded over $725,000 in grants. Those represent grants from state and federal agencies, some as large as $400,000, some as small as just $2,000 or $3,000. Those grants include grants for our regional public health program, traffic safety, capital upgrades on school buildings secured by Senator Kennedy, and so much more. This week, we'll conduct final interviews for police officer candidates. The hiring process will replace Officer Brian Carter, who left the department to move down south. I don't mean South Shore, I mean Louisiana. We interviewed 15 candidates, and the final round this week has 3 finalists, 2 of whom are already certified police officers in Massachusetts, and 1 of whom has a military background. In any of those cases, Tyngsborough will be certainly well-served. And while we used to get a lot more applications, like pre-2018, I think this round we got the most that we've ever seen. So I think it's a reflection of people's desire to work here, but also the good work that the chief is doing in the police department. Just a couple reminders, the health department will host a vaccine clinic here at Town Hall tomorrow from 11 to 2. Residents should pre-register by visiting tyngsboroughma.gov or by calling the health department at 978-649-2300 extension 118. The Sustainability Committee, the Tyngsborough Public Library, and the Tyngsborough Dunstable Rotary will host a repair cafe on Saturday, October 25th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Beehive at 2 Bridgeview Circle. Volunteers will help you repair electronics, clothing, jewelry, bicycles, lamps, sewing machines, and much more. As is customary, Trick or Treat in Tyngsborough will take place on Halloween, which this year is Friday, October 31st. That's from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Generally, we do it whether it's raining or not. And the police department will put out a community advisory, as they always do, with important safety reminders for both trick-or-treaters and also motorists. Zero Waste Day will take place on November 1st from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the elementary school. A reminder that Town Hall and the Tyngsborough Public Library will open late on November 19th to accommodate our annual all-staff training. Town Hall will open at 11 and the library will open at 11:30. And then finally, just a continuing reminder that on February 21st from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the library will host the Oral History Day, focusing on collecting oral histories related to the Winslow School. This is a project that was funded by community preservation funds at a prior town meeting.
I'm excited to announce that in the past 2 weeks, we were able to afford both 2025 road improvement project, Phase 1 and Phase 2. Some work has already began on those projects and will continue through the fall as the weather cooperates, with both projects pausing for the winter and resuming in the spring, with expected completions by early summer 2026. Today, through the town manager's office, the Conservation Commission published a request for proposal seeking a qualified environmental consulting firm to provide peer review services to the commission. Bid documents are available on the town website and are due back by Wednesday, November 12th at 10 a.m. At the Commission on Disability meeting earlier this month, Chief Woods announced some website updates to the police department, showcasing some fantastic programs, and I just wanted to give that website update a little bit of attention that it deserves. Some of those programs include the car seat safety program, where you can have your car seat inspected for free, or potentially even qualify for a free car seat through the department that through a grant that they received. They also have the Safe Watch program, which is a voluntary initiative to safeguard residents who may be at risk of wandering, as well as the Blue Envelope program designed to foster safer interactions with the police department, especially at traffic stops for neurodiverse drivers. There are quite a few more programs that can be helpful to all members of the community, and I would encourage anybody interested to check out their updated programs page of tyngsboroughpd.com. Thank you.